is my first morning in Penang, Georgetown. I'm very excited. I have a super jam-packed schedule, so I won't get into it. I'll just show you what we're going to get up to today. I normally would catch the local bus to do all my stuff today, and I will later, but I think for this morning I'm probably just going to get a taxi because the whole footage deleting fiasco has occurred this morning, so I'm a little bit too devastated to figure out a new public transport system in a foreign country. So I'm just gonna get a taxi and try and piece together a little bit of something for that video. Yeah, so let's get into it.
The first stop of the day is Penang Hill. I use the funicular railway to get up to the top. I did purchase a return ticket. You can walk, however, I was told it would be about a 2 to 3 hour walk, and I just didn't have time for that today, unfortunately, with everything I had planned. Otherwise, I would have loved to catch the railway up and walk back down. Penang Hill is the highest point in all of Penang. It is best known for having panoramic views of the city. However, when I got up to the top, I didn't realise, but it was really cloudy and I couldn't see a thing.
Entrance fee to come into this little area, it's called the Habitat. I think it cost me about roughly $22, so it wasn't too expensive, but this seems like the main thing to do. And then there's of course lots of other things, like additional add-ons you can pay for. I think there's apparently a giant swing and stuff in here, but I mean, I'm still so flustered from everything that happened this morning, and then they don't take cash here, and I didn't have enough money on my card, and there's no service, so I was just a little bit flustered. Anyway, they gave me the free Wi-Fi. I was able to transfer money because I took out most of my money in cash, and I know I can always transfer across, so it's not a big deal. I just like to not have too much money on the card just in case it gets stolen or whatever. Anyway, but the guy, he's like, take your time, slow down, relax, and enjoy the nature. And he's so right. Very grateful for that reminder.
The rainforest was absolutely beautiful. Just listening to the sounds was so relaxing. This bridge in particular that I'm walking over is called the Canopy Walkway. It's actually the longest stress ribbon bridge in the world. And of course it started bucketing down at this point, so I just had to wait out the rain, unfortunately.
Well, that was a bit of a bust. I tried to go up to this sky walk or something, and I already knew half of it was closed purely because of renovations, which they told me beforehand, which was fine. When I got there, because of the heavy rain, and apparently there's still lightning, I can't see any, but apparently there's still lightning, so it's still closed.
There were all these informative signs that gave you little fun facts about all the wildlife you might come across there. That one was super interesting because that type of monkey, the babies are actually born orange, and as they grow older, their fur darkens. I thought that was a pretty cool fact. I did actually find that giant swing they were telling me about. I had assumed it was some big action swing that you had to pay extra for, but it turns out it was just this beautiful swing overlooking the rainforest. It was honestly so peaceful sitting there and relaxing. On my travels, I found this sign for this bug that carries dead ants on its back to trick other ants into giving him food. How crazy is that? And then finally, the lightning and rain had completely stopped. I was able to go up to the top of the skywalk, and the clouds had cleared. The views were stunning. On my way out, I found a bunch of monkeys running around. One even had a cup up in the tree. It was crazy. At the end, they had this little gift shop, and I thought this bag was so funny. I just had to have it. Then they had a free shuttle that took you back up to the top because the habitat actually ended closer towards the bottom. And then I thought I better grab something to eat. I was starving at this point. I grabbed these Penang stir-fried flat noodles. They were absolutely delicious. Once I'd finished up, the clouds had completely cleared, so on my way out, I got a taste of that stunning view. It was amazing.
I finished up at Penang Hill. I'm now on my way to the next stop. I believe it's pronounced Gaik Lean Temple. I'm walking there. It's about a 24-minute walk, purely because the bus was going to be 22 minutes and I'd still have to walk 15, so what's the point? I've just been offered a taxi, but I'm going to walk it. It is very warm and it's only midday, so it probably will still get hotter, but let's get to the next stop.
On my way there, I got to walk through the local village, which was pretty cool to see. I even walked past the local hospital, which you'll see in a second. Gaik Lean Temple is the largest Buddhist temple in Malaysia. It's also an important pilgrimage site to all of Southeast Asia, which is why it is so special. To get to the top, you have to walk and walk and walk and walk, which I did. There was a travelator at the bottom, but I decided that I wanted to feel the achievement of getting to the top myself, so I didn't do that. But when I got to the top, I saw a sign and the lady told me that I had to walk all the way back down and then walk up to the top because you couldn't get there from where I'd gotten to. And it was going to be another 30 to 50 minutes and I just couldn't do it. It was so hot. I was sweating so much. So I decided to pay the $1 for the travelator. It was honestly so worth it. Once I got to the top, I couldn't believe how big the Buddha statue was. And I think it is so difficult to capture it on camera. So I thought I'd give you a bit of a size reference against me.
So I'm back from the temple. I walked all the way back down. The walk down actually wasn't too bad, but I imagine if I'd walked all the way up to the top, it would have been really hard. It was so steep. I've booked a taxi to take me to a tropical spice farm. I was originally going to go there later in the day, but just looking at time and what time everything shuts, this shuts the earliest and it's the furthest away. So I'm just going to go there first and then work my way back around. I was planning on catching the bus somewhere else, but that somewhere else actually doesn't open until a bit later anyway, so this is probably going to work out better. It's probably going to cost me a bit more because I'm taking a taxi instead of a bus, but the bus would have taken me 2 hours to get to the spice farm, so I'd rather just do it this way so I don't miss out. So I've made it to the tropical spice garden and all I can say is wow, this place is unreal. It is so beautiful. The lady was so nice. She gave me some insect repellent when I first got here. She gave me a map. She showed me the app to download for a free audio tour. So I've just popped my AirPods in and yeah, there's like numbers everywhere and you just click on the number on the app when you get there and it gives you a tour. It's honestly so good. She even gave me this free umbrella because it's raining. It was so nice.
Being here was honestly so therapeutic. It was absolutely beautiful. There was so much to see and learn. It honestly did kind of get a bit overwhelming trying to absorb all the fun facts. But my favorite one was that there was a plant there that the Aussies actually nicknamed. And they had a poison garden, which she said, please do not touch anything there. And it had all these signs telling you like what was poisonous, what it did to you. But the really funny thing was a lot of things in the poison garden, it said, but if you use it this way, it actually helps you. So that was really interesting. They also had a fish foot spa. I did try it. It was very ticklish. I did not film it though because I absolutely will not be putting my feet on the internet for free. Sorry.
Just finished in the spice garden. Now it is 4:28. The spice garden shuts at 4:30. I've just made it to the front to return my umbrella and leave. Tell me why there's no one here and the gate's locked. Luckily I found another exit just before, but I didn't go out because I had to give back the umbrella and I did want to maybe look at buying some spices, but the gift shop was closed. So I guess that's not an option. Oh well, on to my next stop, I guess. So I made it out alive of the spice garden. I'm sure we're all very relieved. I'm just heading to the bus stop now to head to my next stop, the floating mosque. It is a pretty busy main road, but the bus stop actually has a proper stop. Would you believe me if I told you that sitting across the road at the bus stop was the Spice Garden employee who locked me inside? The bus was actually super easy to catch. You just have to pay cash and you need to have the right amount as they don't give any change. Luckily, I had a lot of small notes and was able to do that. The floating mosque was so beautiful. Unfortunately, it wasn't high tide when I went, so it didn't give that floating effect, but it was still stunning nonetheless. After the mosque, I got back onto the bus to head into town, and my first stop was Central Fire Station. This fire station is the oldest running fire station in Malaysia, but you're actually able to go inside and look at all these relics. It was really cool. It's almost 6:30. I think it's probably time for dinner. I want to try and go to what is coined one of the cheapest Michelin star restaurants in the world. It is called Aunty Gaik Lean's Old School Eatery. So I haven't made a booking. I'm hoping they'll take me because I'm only one person. Wish me luck. I managed to secure the last table available. I was so lucky. I ended up ordering 3 courses. The service was impeccable. Was incredible. I have officially pushed myself past the limits of what one can fit in their stomach. I am so incredibly full, but the food was absolutely beautiful. The entree was my favorite by far. It was phenomenal. Like, honestly, best thing I've ever eaten. The curry I had was absolutely delicious. The chicken was so tender. It was so beautiful. It wasn't life-changing for me, but still, it was a beautiful curry, no complaints at all. The dessert was definitely out of my comfort zone. That is not something I would ever normally order or eat. But I thought, when in Penang, when in a Michelin star restaurant, you gotta get dessert. So I gave it a crack. As the sun was going down, I went for a walk along the water. There was some beautiful lights all around. I am en route to my final stop of the day, a place that I'm very, very excited for, where I get to write a letter to my future self to be delivered at any time that I choose. This is the postcard that I chose, and I decided to have mine delivered in a year. I can't wait to receive it. Thanks for watching. Make sure you come back to see what I get up to tomorrow.